Good morning, everyone. Want to welcome you here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. It's July the 29th, episode 3 of my 31 favorite albums that introduced me to these bands. So, yep, we're down to the last 3 now, really. This was a little bit difficult, but not overly, because I've kind of felt this way about these 3 albums for the last little while. The top 2 are going to be the top 2 no matter what. This third one, it's suffering major burnout over the last few years as well, but still a top album here. So for those of you who are new, first we give you a little bit of an explanation. For those of you who haven't been watching the series, maybe you're coming in on the last 3 days. Some people only show up for the last game, That's the way it always is. Anyways, what we're doing is I've picked out my 31 albums that basically were the first albums by these bands that I listened to and I got into and that I owned. Pretty much it's that I own them that I decided to do it this way. Because there was bands that I listened to, bands like Thin Lizzy, that I really didn't own any albums by them, but I was following them for a long time. I just never got into their albums until later. But these are bands that the album itself actually really introduced me to the band. So, and I've ranked them according to how I liked them, from least favorite to most favorite. And there's a lot of them that could just switch around any given day, but these top 3 I think are pretty much cemented where they are for now. So number 3 is an album that was the first album by this band I purchased, of course, because all these bands are like that. Came out in 1980 and introduced me to this band, Rush. This is the album Permanent Waves. It's long been my favorite Rush album, probably going back almost since its inception. So a good 44 years ago, this was my favorite Rush album, still my favorite Rush album. It's suffered major burnout. Most of the songs I don't really listen to much anymore. I guess the only one that I still kind of sing even is Natural Science. The rest of them are pretty much burned out over time, just from playing so much, One of the few Rush albums that suffered huge burnout for me. And it's kind of faded a bit, and, I could see in maybe the next few years, several of the Rush albums that are close to it might actually leapfrog and get ahead of it. But for right now, because of sentimentality, because of my love for the introduction to my favorite band, this album is going to come in at number 3 today. Lots of really good stuff on here, even for those of us who are burned out on it. I'm just going to get actually I don't even need it for this album really. So you've got 6 tracks basically. Starts out with The Spirit of Radio. That's a well-known radio burnout song. Definitely had burned out. This may be the first Rush song to ever burn out for me. Burned out way back in the 1980s. I do listen to it on occasion. I don't dislike it. I don't even mind hearing it once in a while. Unlike Tom Sawyer, who I've just kind of fed up with. But this song, fantastic song. Then you've got Free Will, which I think is a better song and lasted much longer for me before it burned out. But at one point it was up there in my top 3 or 4 favorite Rush songs. So it's kind of burned out, but it's got some great bass, some fantastic lyrics. The guitar in this is really good too. Everything is just absolutely killer on this track. And it's a little bit longer, I think, than you would normally get for a song that gets played on the radio quite a bit. Jacob's Ladder, this is a song that I didn't initially care for, but it's become solid over the years. I still don't mind hearing it once in a while. It's got a bit of a solid. I think a lot of Rush fans have grown on this song over the years as well. Entre Nous, this was one of the 2 songs, Spirit of Radio being the other, that I liked instantly, was listening to them all the time. And this one burned out first and has really never, ever made any kind of appearance to come back at all. Got a lot of radio play in those time period as well. But I just don't care for the song that much anymore. Kind of burned out. Then we got Different Strings. This may be the little bit of an outlier here. It's a different kind of Rush song, acoustic bit, but a song that I like a lot. It's one of those, and one of the few acoustic dominated songs by Rush that I really like a lot and still like a lot. It's one of the 8 songs. The last 2 on this I like and still listen to. Sometimes I might even play one or just one of them. And then, of course, Natural Science, which is another one of those epic 9-minute long songs that Rush is, I think, best at. Not so good at maybe the 20 minutes as much as they are at these 10-minute songs. And this one is one of my favorites. I love it. I still love it. I think it's one of the great prog songs of all time. Certainly one of Rush's best songs. And it ends a dynamite album. So for me, Rush's Permanent Waves was my gateway to Rush, my entry point to this band, the first album I owned and played to death. So that's for today. I hope you liked this episode. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe. That is much appreciated. You want to make any comments about the album or the album cover, which is one of my favorite Rush album covers, or about the songs on the album, or anything to do with Rush, or anything to do with this monthly show that we're doing, please leave those in the comment section. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, and we'll be back tomorrow with day 2. And I'll just give you a little hint, another Canadian band. Yes, I don't think people will be all that surprised with the album I'm choosing tomorrow, but we will see you then. Take care and have yourself a good day. Goodbye.